Okay, welcome back. It's the 12th of January 2021 and we're at the start of fairly early on in another lockdown, and I thought I would do a bit of a winter tour of the Glasshouse. Yeah, it doesn't things are going okay, mostly. Some things I'm a bit worried about, other things I'm really pleased with. I do feel completely out of my comfort zone because I've been used to having a greenhouse through the spring, summer and early autumn months, but never through the winter. So I've never experienced the things that I'm experiencing now, and I don't really know how typical some of the problems are and whether it's me doing something wrong or whether it's okay and it's just the fact that it's winter. But anyway, exciting and interesting times. Got my cup of tea on the go here, which is always useful. So just start with these jade plants, crassula plants here. Similar size, completely different size. Similar size plants, completely different size pots. I've got some I'm leaving in the glasshouse over winter and some I've taken in to the room, really just to see what difference it makes. I know that being out in the cold for the winter helps flowering, and I'd really like to see them flower, but I'm also aware that they will be tender, so I'm not sure how low I can go with these. I need to watch my camera work, sorry. How low I can go with these in terms of temperature. As I'm holding that, it feels very cold to touch, but we will see. They're not rotten, they're not suffering at all, you know. They're still sort of firm, so hopefully they're okay. That's a pot of 2 cuttings of Philadelphus that I took from the garden before I cut my large one back, and a seedling lavender that I'm overwintering in here. We'll do something with those in the spring. I've got pots of Geranium Agapanthus here, which I've mentioned before in videos, plants that I fell in love with at a garden during the summer last year, and you can see why they're called Agapanthus, because the serrated edges, they're not that sharp, but you can feel they have a sharpness to them. Grown incredibly well, seem to be fine stood in water. Not something that I did on purpose, but I think the amount of water and the damp inside the glasshouse has sort of dribbled into the tray. Some bigger than others. It's quite a small one, but they're going to be potted out in the springtime there. So they seem to be, you know, so those 2 crassulas there are an experiment. I'm going to see how they go, and hopefully I won't lose them. They're hardy plants, so they'll be fine in here over winter. And in fact, actually, I'm slightly worried they might be too warm for them, and they need the more cold period. Very experimental. Agapanthus, Geranium Agapanthus. I'm not sure how they will do, whether it's too damp, too cold, but we will see. These I'm really pleased with, my carnivorous plant collection. Got a range here, the Venus flytraps, and I've had a go at these last weekend, taking off some of the dead and decaying matter, but they seem quite healthy. I'm not worried about these. I keep topping up the water occasionally. I don't keep it as high as I do in the summer. So that's the Dionea. The Drosera capensis here, they seem okay. Got some healthy, how close I can get, not very, yeah, some healthy leaves like this. By healthy I mean sort of in full green with sundew on them, and then some leaves that seem to be sort of dying back, which I guess is normal for this time of year. So I'm not worried about that. And the Pinguicula here seems to be doing very well. That was the space where I had another, I think it was a smaller Cyclosector, and I lost that, so I might replace that next year. And then over here, I've got a full tray of, get in focus, there we are. I've got a full tray of carnivorous plants from Dracaeras, another Dracera like this. What's that one? Echinacea. This Sarracenia Purple Haze has never done that well since I had it. I'm keeping it on, seeing how it goes. There's some new growth, tiny new growth in there, but it just didn't flourish like the others did. And I've got 4 Sarracenas here of varying different sizes. This Purpurea here with the very short and fat pitchers. Sarracenia Spitzakina, I think, with very, very small pitchers there. Sarracenia Cultivar Scarlet Bell here. So I'm going to swap hands, a bit of pointing, with most beautifully marked pitchers. Let's get that into focus there. I love this sort of hooded appearance there, but these are smaller. And then 4 much larger Sarracenas. I think, are they all flavas? I think they're flavas. But they have got, as you can see, I'm not very good with the focusing here. Where are we? There we are. Here, much, much bigger pitchers, and ranging from this green, the most beautiful crimson red. I think that these will get cut back. These pitchers, I've taken off quite a few ones that were already dead last weekend when I had a bit of a tidy up, but I think the rest of these will be cut off in February, but I'll do my research on that, ready for the new growth. If I can get out this, here, let's go back over here. A cup of tea, a drink of tea. I'm not sure how close I can get to this and keep it in focus, but the growing point, where are we? That's in there. There we are. The growing point there looks to me very fat and very healthy, and lots of healthy roots growing underneath. So I'm very, very pleased with these and very excited for next year, because I think with that, I don't know what you call it, the strong growing point at the base in there, and they've all got them. It's not as easy to show. Yeah. Let's just sort out the focusing of this thing. But the strong growing point there, I think, bodes really well for a new, for a strong set of growth next year. And these pictures are, some of them are a foot long, 12 inches, 14 inches long, some of them. So yeah, so very, very hopeful for that. Then here, I've got Echinacea growing on. I am struggling to keep them watered at the moment. I'm not, because work is so busy and the weather's not great. I'm not out here in the evening. I don't come out here more than about once a week. So they're normally fairly dry when I come back, and they're not in big pots. So I think they'll be fine here over the winter to be planted out. They are usually biennials, aren't they? So they'll need, if I do plant them out, I'll need to grow them on, look after them next year over winter, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But they seem to be doing okay. What are these? Oops, sorry. Petrocosmea idioides is doing well, and Petrocosmea cryptica not doing so well. I caught it when I was out in the weekend. I think it's gone rotten at the base here because I didn't do much to it. I think I was trying to trim the dead leaves off and the whole top came off. So I'm going to see how that goes, but I might sadly have lost that one. And then I've got 6 auricula here. Auriculas have the most stunning, beautiful flowers, and I'm looking for them, hoping that they will be okay, you know, and I'll get some flowers from them in spring. Every time I come out here, I have to take more dead, not those ones there, they're from the Echinacea, more dead leaves off. So I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing with them. I know they're sat in water at the moment. They're another one where I struggle to keep them watered enough. They're always wilted when I come out in the at the weekend. So I've left them standing in some water for a few days, and I'll drain that off before I go back indoors. So I'm hoping I'm doing the right thing here. They don't like a lot of winter wet, certainly not on the leaves. So that's why they're in here, because it's very damp. You know, well, obviously I'm in the UK, so it's very wet winters normally, and they don't like it without shelter. So we'll see, very experimental. Under here, behind this here, are my begonias. Now these are a range of begonias that I've got from Krug Farm Plants and from what are they called, Barracots plants, and these are deciduous begonias, so they've all died back. Fingers crossed they'll all come back next year. This one here, oh gosh, Begonia Evansiana alba is one of my favourite. Beautiful green leaves with red, ruby red undersides and lovely pink, white flowers on that one, I think there are. So yes, fingers crossed for those. Eucomis seedlings going on here, 2 or 3 per pot. I'm not sure if it's too cold for those in here, but we will see. I bought a pack of seeds for £1 from Mike's Rare Plants. I'm growing those on, and hopefully we'll be able to put those outside next year. And then this is the more sort of succulent end. This is a Kalanchoe, and I think, sorry, this is a Kalanchoe. Get my camera to work right. I think this is going to be too cold for it. It doesn't seem all that happy at the moment. Kalanchoe thyriciflora. I got this from Kew Gardens in the summer when, well, between lockdowns really. But it doesn't seem all that happy, so we will see. What else have I got here? An Aeonium Schwarzkopf here, doing very well. Got loads of babies coming off the side. I need to decide what I'll do with that next year, but very, very firm stem, no signs of any damage due to the cold. The glasshouse, I keep it at between 8 and 10 degrees Celsius, so it should be okay, but we will see. Yeah, we will see for that one. Geranium bench, real mixed, or Pelargonium bench, largely real mixed bag here. This one doesn't seem to like, this Pelargonium doesn't seem to like the conditions, hasn't done very well, whereas others, and I did have a bit of a tidy up of these over the weekend again, so the others of them look like they're doing very well. What's that one? Pelargonium Pink Capricorn. I've got 2 heliotropes here, one here, one here. Again, this, I have no idea what I'm doing with these over the winter. I mean, I know what I'm doing with them, I'm keeping them in here, but I don't know how well they will survive. So I'm hoping that they will be okay, and they will come out in bud next year. Good way to tell how something is, if you scrape a bit of bark. Oh, why is this not autofocus? Silly thing. Right, and you can see underneath the bark it's green. That's a good sign. And my finger in the right place. We've got some buds. That's not a bud, that's a dead leaf. We've got some buds on the stem here, so I'm hoping it just looks a mess because it's relatively cold and I don't have the skill to stop it looking a mess. I'm hoping that it's not, I'm not going to lose it. And I've got another one here. Heliotrope, I don't know if you've had them. They have the most beautiful scented flowers. Sometimes they're called the cherry pie plant because they smell sort of vanilla-y and like cherry pie. Didn't do a very good job at the weekend of taking some of these leaves off. Did I miss those? It is, I have to say, it's been like botrytis central here over the winter. I've had to take quite a few. Botrytis is that sort of nasty grey mould, he said, dropping it all over his Agapanthus. That nasty grey mould that you get on some plants. Particularly bad. If I can get in here, I haven't done anything with these here. Well, these are pelargoniums that I was trying to overwinter. I've not done a very good job with those. So anyway, sorry, I'm rambling here, but I seem to have, most of these seem okay, and these ones up here, we've even got some flowers on some of these, which is good. Keep an eye on these. But I'm hoping to plant these back out in pots in the late spring when the last chance of frost has gone. It's annoying, isn't it? And you keep seeing stuff that either you missed or perhaps it wasn't even there when you last looked. So yeah, you can see probably here the amount of moisture I'm battling with. I think it's a fault of the fact that the glasshouses should straight on the ground and not on slabs or concrete. I think the moisture just comes up through the gravel and makes the condensation worse in here. Anyway, so I've got my Agapanthus pots here. This one here is the very large white flowered one. The flower stalks are about 6 feet high, and the others are all blue. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other pots of it there, which they will stay in here until the weather turns for the better. Can never remember the name of this. Oh, it's so annoying. Lantana, that's it. This is a pink and white or pink and cream lantana. Not, if you smell the leaves, not particularly nice smell, quite a chemical, hard chemical smell to them. But the flowers are gorgeous, and I'm hoping that again I can keep this overwintered. So I'm picking off dead leaves as I talk. Keeping this overwintered again, and it can go back outside when the spring, at the end of spring. And under there, 4 large pots of cannas there that will, well, there's a weed in one that's not a canna, but the rest are cannas in there and there, and they can, hoping I'll be able to put those out. Not hoping, sorry, I will put those out again in the new year. So, then moving on, a large Echinacea. This is one of the very tall ones. The other ones I showed you are fairly dwarf. This one is a large one that gets very tall when it is fully grown. I'm trying to avoid standing in pots. This is a fig cutting that I took quite early on in lockdown, along with this fig cutting here, and some of my favourite plants here, the oleander. There are 3 pots. They were bought in Tesco's early in lockdown. This one, there's something, is this, something not right about this. I don't know if you can see. The foliage looks on the left of the picture there, it doesn't look great. Unlike that, those 2 there, they look a lot healthier, so I might lose that one. When I'm off camera, I'll have to have a look. Lemon balm here, beautiful plant, lovely scent of lemon, even at this time of year when it's cold. 2 pots of trailing pelargoniums and my begonia metallica. Seems absolutely fine out here, hard as nails, I think, is that one. The worst thing that's happened to it is I let it get dried, too dry, and it wilted. But it soon perked up. So it soon perked up as I've watered it. Alright, there we are. Okay, got plumbago down here. Plumbago is one of my favourite plants, always reminds me of Mediterranean holidays, and has the most beautiful sky blue flowers on it. Never remember the name of this one. Aloe... I've got my glasses on. Striatula, sorry, Aloe Striatula. And that, there, if you look, if I zoom in, there's got some buds, some pups coming up from the base. So maybe I'll be able to plant those up if they're big enough in the spring. And losing a lot of leaves, which again, I don't know whether to be worried about this, but this is my lemon. I'll get rid of those when I'm off camera again. But I have got a couple of large lemons there, so I'm hoping this will be all right and I can overwinter this. But as I said before, with other things in here, I don't have a lot of experience of overwintering in a cool greenhouse. So this is very much a learning experience for me. And last but not least, it looks kind of a bit grubby because the leaves that have fallen off other plants into it. But an aloe vera, I thought I might lose it, but it seems, touch wood, like it's okay at the moment. It was a present for me for last year, so I do try, I'm trying not desperately hard not to lose it. So I do inspect it regularly, but yeah. So there we go. Glasshouse in mid-winter. Yeah, I think I'd hope there would be more colour, but I don't think it's warm enough for that. So if you, I watch 53 Degrees North, Plants of 53 Degrees North on YouTube, and he has an amazing amount of colour in his greenhouse, but I think because it's warmer, he can have a lot more variety of species maybe than I've got, or certainly flowering species than I've got. But anyway, that's where we're at the moment. Looking forward to the spring coming. I've got pots of bulbs here. The only reason these are in the greenhouse is to stop the squirrels getting at them, because the squirrels started, if you can see, there's a bit of a bulb shell on top. They started getting at them when they were outside. So I need to rethink that strategy for next year. Maybe get some chicken wire and put that in to stop them digging around inside. But we will see. I just need to find the right time to put them outside, because I think it may be too warm in here for them. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm rambling now. I'm pleased with how things are going. And, you know, most stuff seems to be surviving, if not thriving, in here. And be interesting to see what happens as the weather opens up in a few months' time, you know, as to how things respond to that as the day length gets longer. I've said before, maybe on this channel, that the glasshouse spends November, December, January and February pretty much without any sun at all, which isn't a good thing for a greenhouse. It would be much better if it had more sun exposure, but you live and learn. It was my choice to place it here. When I put it down, I didn't really think of that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. I'm rambling on too long. This has already been probably 15 minutes longer than I intended. But yeah, I'll sign off now and see you next time. Take care.